Level 1. The Shop Helper. You arrive at the repair shop before sunrise, thinking you'll work on cars. Instead, you spend your first hour sweeping floors covered in years of grease. The smell of burnt oil follows you everywhere. You quickly learn that touching another mechanic's toolbox without permission is a bad idea. The mechanics send you looking for tools you have never heard of before. You spend half the day carrying tires heavier than expected. Lunch arrives faster than your confidence. Every mechanic seems to speak a language that barely sounds like English. The first car you wash costs more than your annual salary. You become terrified of scratching something worth 6 figures. The shop opens at 7, but everyone important arrives before 7. You discover that being late by 5 minutes feels like being late by an hour. At the end of the day, your clothes smell like oil, rubber, and disappointment. Your paycheck feels surprisingly small compared to the effort. You survive the first months and realize the real training has not even started yet. Level 2. The Apprentice Mechanic. After 8 months in the shop, someone finally lets you touch an actual repair order. Your first oil change pays the shop about $80 and takes you nearly 45 minutes. The senior technician finishes the same job in 12 minutes. You spend more time looking for a 10mm socket than repairing the car. By now, you've memorized the location of nearly 300 different tools. A customer arrives driving a $120,000 luxury SUV and hands you the keys. Suddenly, one mistake could cost more than the entire shop earns in a week. You learn that diagnosing a problem is harder than replacing the part. The check engine light becomes your new worst enemy. A customer says, "It only makes the noise sometimes." The car immediately stops making the noise when you test drive it. Your lunch break lasts 30 minutes, but the repair schedule never stops moving. You begin handling 5 to 8 vehicles every day. The average customer sees a 10-minute repair, but not the 3 years required to learn it. For the first time, another apprentice asks you for help instead of the senior technician. Level 3. The Certified Technician. After nearly 4 years, your name finally appears on jobs the shop cannot afford to get wrong. You now earn around $75,000 a year, but your toolbox alone is worth nearly $30,000. A check engine light can now lead to 6 different systems and 50 possible causes. Customers start asking for you by name. The easiest repair on today's schedule costs more than your first car. You stop replacing parts and start solving mysteries. A vehicle worth $180,000 arrives with a problem nobody else could identify. The owner watches every move you make. One damaged component could cost $12,000 before labor. You begin carrying diagnostic equipment worth more than some used cars. The younger mechanics now bring difficult problems directly to your bay. You spend 30 minutes listening to a strange engine noise and instantly know where to look. The pressure gets worse because expectations get higher. You realize experience saves more time than effort ever could. For the first time, the shop depends on your knowledge more than your labor. Level 4. The Master Technician. You become the person everyone calls after 3 failed repair attempts. Your certifications fill an entire wall. You earn between $90,000 and $140,000 a year, depending on the market. A luxury dealership sends difficult cases directly to you. You spend more time thinking than turning wrenches. Some repairs require 8 hours of diagnosis before touching a single bolt. You start working on electric vehicles carrying 400 to 800 volts. One mistake can send someone to the hospital. Manufacturers invite you to advanced training most mechanics never see. You begin understanding vehicles at a level customers cannot imagine. The hardest problems arrive on your schedule automatically. You can identify some failures by sound alone. New technology arrives every year, forcing you to study after work. You realize the learning never ends. At this level, people stop calling you a mechanic and start calling you an expert. Level 5. The shop foreman. You no longer fix every car yourself because now 12 technicians depend on your decisions. The first thing you check every morning is not a vehicle, it's the workload. A shop with 18 cars waiting can lose thousands of dollars in a single slow day. You spend more time solving people problems than engine problems. One technician calls in sick and the entire schedule starts falling apart. Customers never see the chaos happening behind the service desk. A technician damages a $4,000 part and everyone immediately looks at you. You become responsible for mistakes you did not personally make. Your radio never stays silent for more than 3 minutes. A repair delayed by 1 hour can affect 10 customers. You learn exactly how expensive wasted time can become. The best technicians start expecting answers from you. Your toolbox slowly gathers dust while your desk fills with paperwork. You begin measuring success in productivity instead of repairs. For the first time, leadership feels more exhausting than physical labor. Level 6. The service manager. You manage over $3 million worth of annual repairs without touching most of the vehicles. Every customer complaint eventually reaches your desk. You stop worrying about engines and start worrying about profit margins. One bad online review can cost thousands in future business. You supervise dozens of employees and hundreds of customers every month. The repair shop now feels more like a business than a garage. Your biggest challenge becomes balancing speed, quality, and profit. Some days you handle more than 50 customer conversations. You learn that unhappy customers remember everything. The technicians see labor hours, while you see payroll. The owners expect growth every year, regardless of the economy. You begin spending more time in meetings than in the shop. Your decisions affect dozens of families earning a living under your roof. The stress becomes financial, personal, and operational at the same time. You realize managing people is far more complicated than repairing cars. Level 7. The shop owner. You unlock the shop at 5:45 a.m. because every dollar earned or lost now belongs to you. The building costs $18,000 a month before a single car enters the parking lot. 30 employees depend on the decisions you make this week. A customer sees a repair bill, but you see payroll, insurance, rent, taxes, and equipment payments. The diagnostic machine costs $15,000 and becomes outdated 3 years later. You finally earn more money than ever before, but you think about the business every day of the year. Customers trust your name even when they never meet you personally. You realize the shop no longer belongs to you alone. It belongs to everyone whose livelihood depends on it. The business becomes your greatest achievement and your heaviest burden at the same time. Final stage, the last repair order. One evening, you find your first worn-out toolbox in a dusty storage room and realize you spent decades fixing cars while quietly building a life.